You are lying in the dark, trying to sleep, when a single thought surfaces. Maybe you replay a clumsy social interaction from 3 years ago, or you picture an upcoming project failing. The room is silent and you are perfectly safe, yet within seconds, your heart races, your stomach drops, you begin to sweat. We usually assume this narrator is our true self. We listen to the critical voice in our head and accept its commentary as the core of our identity. However, recent neurological research suggests this voice acts more like a background program than a core identity. It functions as a separate, automated process that runs independently of your conscious will. Because we rarely recognize this program for what it is, we treat its fictions as literal truths. We allow a background narration to hijack our physical biology, reacting to imagined scenarios as if they were happening in the room. This mental suffering stems from a biological mechanism operating entirely without our awareness. To understand this mechanism, we have to look at what the brain does when it has nothing to do. When you aren't focused on a specific task, like when you're commuting or doing the dishes, a specific network takes over. This is the default mode network, or DMN. It wakes up before you do, acting as a relentless storyteller. It constructs your identity by comparing you to others, replaying past pain, and imagining future catastrophe to predict threats. But this narrator creates a powerful illusion. Neuroscience shows there is no single me located anywhere in the brain. Instead, identity is a network effect, a narrative that the brain updates constantly. Personal identity is a process of simplification. It is a hallucination designed to help a prehistoric human survive a complex world. The DMN is a prediction machine with a specific bug. It cannot distinguish between a real, physical threat in the room and an imagined scenario in the mind. The cycle begins when the DMN predicts a social threat, like a fear of rejection. The sympathetic nervous system interprets this as physical reality, spiking cortisol. Sensing this panic, the DMN generates an even darker story to explain the physical threat. This creates a self-reinforcing biological cycle of catastrophizing. We call this the ego loop. Human anxiety operates as a mechanical hardware glitch, where the mind and body trap each other in a false reality. Living inside an unexamined loop causes our reality to shrink. Creativity collapses, and we begin to live entirely within a narrow, fearful story about what we deserve and what is possible. You cannot silence the DMN. It is a necessary biological servant. However, you can revoke its monopoly over your attention. Whenever the mind begins to spiral, ask yourself one question. What story am I telling right now? By naming the story, you shift from being the person experiencing the narrative to the one watching it happen. This act of observation detaches you from the mechanical cycle, proving that you are something other than the voice in your head. Once the narrator loses its hold on your attention, the sympathetic nervous system is starved of its fuel. The bodily panic subsides because the threat is no longer being validated. This practice provides a tangible, biological separation from an outdated storytelling machine. It is the beginning of freedom.